What's up, guys? It's the Jeremy
and Carey
show. Ask us what's
anything.
up. Are you ready, guys? I'm ready. It's 2021. The year has begun. We're ready to rock and roll and do this thing.
Yeah.
So we're taking questions from you, talking about hygiene, sleep hygiene, that is. Question about how many hours do you sleep?
Yes. I sleep roughly, I'm in bed, so there's a difference, and catch this. I'm in bed about 7 hours, give or take. Now, how much sleep do I get? Now, here's where I think Jeremy's going to throw out the Whoop band to me, which I'm not currently wearing, but that is very questionable, guys. I bet I get 5 hours of rest. So mind you, 7 hours in bed, 5 hours of rest, and sleep might be like 3 good hours. It's always questionable. And again, I think I might need some statistics whenever I'm wearing something more like a device that's going to show and explain to me when I'm getting into that deep sleep. So there's lots of things to talk about there. But Jeremy, that is kind of what I'm guessing right now. And right now my sleep is messed up. We might get into that in a minute. But Jeremy, what about you? Like, because I get in bed at 9:30, go to bed about 10, and then I'm waking up about 4:45, 5:15 maybe.
You know, that's a good question from sleep and how we perceive sleep versus what we actually get. So wearing a wearable like Whoop for the last 2.5 years, I'm able to get a pretty good perspective on it. I would have told you in the past that I sleep like 7 to 8 hours a night. On a bad night, maybe 6 hours. And so it's just like this big range. But I know that I aim to sleep 7 hours a night, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, I typically will sleep 8 to 8.5 hours. So I
sleep in.
Or
you go to bed early.
Yeah, I just go to bed early and I wake up a little bit later. And so whenever you look at that hour and a half, it's really an hour add to the sleep. And then I average, so at a 7 hour, so I found whenever I start to really get a loss in performance, mentally, cognitively, and physically, is whenever I get multiple nights less than 7 hours of actual sleep.
Yeah.
So I say there's probably, for me, and everyone's different, but there's probably about a 30 to 45 minute buffer of whenever you think that you're getting sleep that you're not in active sleep. So when we think about light sleep versus deep sleep, REM sleep, you're going through different processes. I average about 2 hours of REM and about an hour of deep sleep, a little bit higher, hour to hour and 20 minutes. And then the rest is, and it's all important sleep, but you want to tap into your REM, you want to tap into your deep. That's the process of us getting our brains, all the static, all the bright fluids processed through. And of course, I'm not a doctor, just off of reading and researching, understanding what's going to give me long-term positive cognitive processing. And so whenever I see multiple nights below 7 hours of actual sleep, I start to feel brain fog, lack of performance, clarity mentally, and all that stuff. And so
big time.
Where it really targets is that means you need to be in bed 8 hours. So typically what I find when I say I sleep 8 hours, that means you sleep 7. If you sleep 7, that means that you sleep 6. And so you start to see that change. Yeah. And I think that the variance of age, when you start to get older, things change with your sleep cycle and how important it is to get more sleep. You can get by when you're younger not sleeping, but is it good for you? No. And so it's very interesting what sleep deprivation can actually do to your mental health, your emotional health, your choice making. And so I am hyper encouraging on the proper amount of sleep for you. So some people need 8 to 9 hours of continuous sleep. Some people can work around that 8 to 7 hour, and there is a small fraction scientifically proven that can sleep less than 6 hours and still function, but it's a far minority versus the majority. And so you have to determine. So it kind of, in the scope of things, what they call that, YOLO life, it's like you have to determine, are you playing the long game or are you playing the short game? And so I think sometimes you might need to not sleep because you got a project or something large that you need to get done. But other than that, you want to have a strong continuous sleep cycle over time to give good cognitive long-term processing and keep brain health for the long haul. But a lot of things change, impact. The other night, I had hay fever or cedar fever here in Austin, Texas, and I had probably like 14 to 16 disruptions. So that I woke up because I couldn't really breathe through my nose, and I woke up for like an hour and 10 minutes. I was awake in the middle of the night. I was in bed for 8.5 hours, and I slept like 6.5 hours. And one other cool aspect of Whoop, it shows you your heart rate variability, your readiness of the nervous system for that day. And I was down in like the 30s because my HRV was more like around 60, but my recovery was at 30. That's Whoop Talk. I'll get you on the backside, give you some more information about that and all that. But
Jeremy, what do you think about naps?
I personally think it's, again, a personal decision on what you like to do. Some people feel groggy from naps. Some people feel energized from naps. I like naps depending on when and how. I like sometimes a 5-minute nap, and sometimes I like a 20-minute nap. I usually don't sleep past 20 minutes on a weekday, so I get what is considered a power nap.
Yeah.
Versus sometimes on the weekend I can take an hour nap, but it definitely impacts my overall energy.
Oh, like it's better.
No, I actually feel less energetic.
Oh, after a nap.
But I'm more probably in a rest and recovery state, parasympathetic versus sympathetic.
Right, and I think that as we age, I think that maybe naps play a different role with that. But also, one other thought is just like sometimes I might not have slept so well during the night, and therefore I need a nap. But instead, I'm kind of walking around maybe wanting to grab caffeine. And man, when you do that and you really need sleep, it actually is. It makes me not feel great at all. And of course then caffeine, and depending on the time of day, and disrupting the evening sleep again. So I really try and push through. But I do agree about, if you are going to nap, I like that 15-minute, not more than 20, but find a space, and then it takes about 5 minutes for me to get into a restful state since I'm kind of in the midday, and then breath work for that though. So I think we haven't talked about it or covered any kind of like how to prepare yourself for bed or a good night's rest, but breath work is so important, one, just bottom line throughout the day always, but also to get into a restful state, just getting that breath and that tempo of the heart rate down and get yourself into a restful state it's absolutely a game changer. But by simply just focusing on the breath as you lay down and start to relax the mind, but staying off your electrical devices. So if you struggle with sleep, I think preparing yourself for that deep sleep in the evening there's like 3 to 5 tools that if you will consistently start to put into your evening routine to get you into a more restful state faster would be absolutely the key. So a habit that I created over the holiday was watching a little show with my husband right before bed. Not always the good thing, right? With your eyes stimulated by the light, maybe the computer or the television that you're watching, or something that's revving you up or getting you excited. Also social media right before bed, maybe capturing something that, gets you a little revved up, or you start thinking about something, it gets the mind turning. It's like time to downgrade, deregulate, and so we've got to get into a restful state. So creating restful, good sleep plan before you even get yourself on the pillow.
We encourage you guys to get the right amount of sleep, so you really want to be candidate 1 as if you're the test subject, and really process what best works for you and be aware of what works and what doesn't, and test. And I really encourage you to find something that can track your sleep, that can help you have real data behind what it is and how it is that you do your sleep. So right on, guys.
Awesome.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.